All right, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about a number you hear all the time, on the news and financial reports, everywhere. It's a number that can swing elections and move markets, but honestly, it might not mean what you think it means. Yeah, we're talking about GDP.
I mean, seriously, think about it. What's that one single figure that everyone waits for every quarter, like it's the ultimate report card for how a country is doing? It's always presented as the final score. But is it really? That's the big question we're going to tear down today.
And just to give you a sense of scale, we're talking about a global GDP of over $100 trillion. That is a truly mind-boggling number. It represents a massive amount of economic stuff. But what exactly is all that stuff? What are we actually counting to get a number that huge?
So let's pull back the curtain a little bit. When you hear that the economy grew by, say, 3%, that's GDP. So let's get a really simple, crystal clear idea of what's actually going on inside that calculation.
Okay, so here's the absolute key. GDP is at its core a measure of spending. That's it. It's just adding up all the money that's spent on finished goods and services. So everything from the coffee you bought this morning to a brand new skyscraper, it all gets counted. It's a measure of economic activity, which is not at all the same thing as economic well-being.
A great way to think about this is to picture the economy as a car. GDP, that's just the speedometer. It's telling you how fast the engine is running, sure, but it tells you absolutely nothing about how much gas is left in the tank, if the engine is about to explode, or, and this is a big one, if you're even driving in the right direction.
And that right there brings us to the central problem, what you could call the prosperity paradox. It's that feeling, that disconnect. When you hear the numbers are great, the economy's booming, but for some reason it just doesn't feel like life is getting any better.
And this is really the core question, isn't it? We see these headlines celebrating record growth, but for so many of us, that growth just doesn't seem to show up in our daily lives. So what's the deal? Why is there this massive gap between the number and the reality?
So you can see the problem right here. On one side, you have the official story. Hey, more activity, more production, higher income. But on the other side, you've got the stuff GDP just completely ignores. The gap between the rich and poor getting wider, damage to our environment, people feeling more stressed and less happy. The speedometer is going up, but the car might be falling apart.
So yeah, let's dig right into that disconnect. We're going to look at the specific blind spots and how we calculate GDP. And honestly, some of these are wild. It's not just about what GDP is missing, it's also about what it counts that it probably shouldn't.
Okay, get ready for this, because this is where GDP gets really, really weird. It has this fundamental flaw. It literally cannot tell the difference between a good transaction and a bad one. Spending is just spending.
And this chart shows that perfectly. So imagine a huge hurricane just devastates a city. It's a total tragedy, right? Well, guess what happens next? Billions of dollars get spent on cleaning up, on repairs, on rebuilding all the stuff that was destroyed. And all of that spending, every last dollar, gets added to the GDP. The country actually looks richer on paper because of a disaster. That's not a bug in the system. That's literally how it's designed to work.
All right, now for another massive hole in the GDP story. Just think for a second about all the critical work that happens every single day that nobody gets a paycheck for. We're talking about raising kids, caring for sick or elderly relatives, cooking meals, keeping a home running. The invisible engine that keeps society going.
And just look at this. Our main measure of economic success, GDP, assigns all of that foundational work a value of 0, zilch. It's totally invisible. So if you hire a nanny, GDP goes up. But if a parent or a grandparent provides that exact same loving care for free, GDP doesn't budge an inch. The value is there, but the official number just doesn't see it.
Oh, and the list just keeps on going. GDP is a big dumb average, so it tells us nothing about who gets the money. A billionaire making another billion looks the same as a million people each getting $1,000. And it happily adds the value of a factory's products, but it doesn't subtract the cost of the pollution that factory pumps into the air and water. It's all blind spots.
Okay, so what's the answer? If GDP is this flawed, should we just toss it in the trash? Well, not necessarily. But what we absolutely have to do is put it in its proper place.
Let's go right back to that car dashboard. You would never try to drive a long distance by looking only at the speedometer, would you? Of course not. You need the fuel gauge, you need the engine temperature, you need the oil light. GDP is just the speedometer. It's a useful piece of information for sure, but it is far from the whole story.
And the good news is we already have other gauges. Metrics like the Human Development Index, which looks at things like health and education, or the Genuine Progress Indicator, which actually tries to subtract the costs of things like crime and pollution. We even have things like the World Happiness Report. The tools for a much better, smarter dashboard, they're already out there.
At the end of the day, it really comes down to this. What we choose to measure is a reflection of what we value. And for a very long time, we valued raw economic activity above almost everything else. So maybe it's time we started asking ourselves, are we even measuring the right things? Because if we only ever focus on the speed, we might just be racing faster and faster towards a destination